Hey, what's up, C-Maniac Nation? C-Man, letting you know, bear with me with these videos. I've had a lot of technical issues the last couple days. My mic completely crapped out. Then today it seemed to be working, and when I imported everything in to edit it, there was like a high-pitch squeal. I've done my very best to edit it out of the videos that you're getting ready to watch. It comes in occasionally. It's not too bad. If you listen to things about midway on like your computer, you should be fine. But bear with the audio. I thought the reactions were worth putting up, and I got it to a pretty usable place. So yeah, technical difficulties ahead, but hope you enjoy the reactions. Take it away, Passy Man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the C-Man, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the C-Man's Cinema Sit-Down. So, a few days ago, we got a little short film that dropped. I'd heard about this about a week or so ago, and I got very excited because it has to do with one of my favorite superhero properties of all time. If you follow this channel, if you know me, if you were to whip out your phone and take yourself over to Letterboxd, and you went to look at either my Marvel rankings or just my overall comic book films, if you look at my comic book movies, you will find Into the Spider-Verse at 2 and Across the Spider-Verse at 1. These are two of my favorite movies to ever exist in the realm of comic books because they're animated, so it feels like it comes from a comic, and the art and the concept and the love that the boys, Lord and Miller, poured into those movies, and the animation styles that felt like they were ripped off, not just superhero comic book pages, but just comic book pages in general, like the appreciation and the love for the art, as well as a story and movies that just hit on all levels when it comes to superhero stuff. It doesn't get any better for me. Like, if you're looking for the best of what a comic book movie could be, Into and Across are where it's at. I mean, when we're doing reviews and we're zoomed out a little bit, up on my wall, you guys have seen it before. I have a beautiful Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse print that I got at New York Comic Con. I adore this franchise. When I heard that a short film had been made by Jarelle Dampier, who, shout out, I love seeing stuff like this, man. Like, I love when you follow the industry and you look at the names and you see, oh man, I haven't heard this name before. Where'd they come from? And Jarelle Dampier worked in the art department for Invincible, Batman Hush, Reign of the Supermen, Young Justice. Those are the first four things that come up on the known for. He's been a storyboard artist on What If. He's worked on the Spider-Man TV series from 2019 and 2020. Like, I love seeing someone that comes from like the art end of the animated world and go, you know what? I've been around. I've worked enough with all the different people that make these things. I want to direct a short. So we have a 7-minute short film that takes place between Into and Across the Spider-Verse, where Miles Morales experiences a panic attack that forces him to confront the manifestations of his anxiety and learn that reaching out for help can be just as brave an act as protecting his city from evil. I hadn't read that until just now, and I am also a humongous advocate for mental health and taking care of yourself and talking to people. Ironically, today would be a day normally that I would be going to my therapist, but she's a little under the weather. Monica, if you happen to see this video, I hope you're feeling better. Can't wait to see you next week. She is somebody that has helped write my life when everything about my life had fallen apart. I'd never been that low. I'd never been against therapy. I just never thought I needed it. And when my life bottomed out, I did. I'm glad I reached out. And now I feel like this is going to be something that means a lot, there's lots of that in these Spider-Verse movies. But something that's going to have like an emotional and hopefully an impactful message in 7 minutes. That gets me even more excited. And I hope I'm not going to roll any tears. But obviously we have Shamik Moore here voicing Miles, and then Brian Tyree Henry as Jefferson Davis. Just those two for the whole short film. I'm very excited. So I don't want to waste any more time. I'm like now trying to mentally prep myself and emotionally prep myself. This might hit a bit because you can imagine, right? This is one of these things where it's like in the world of superheroes, how often do we get to see our heroes really look at themselves and confront themselves with what their reality is. And like, that's a lot to put on a kid, right? Like, you are here to help protect the world, save the world, do these big things that he's done. And like, he's coming off of doing something that was absolutely crazy, right? Like, when that collider explodes, everything that's going on, and Miles is willing to sacrifice himself. Dealing with that and the repercussions of that and what it means to be Spider-Man, like, I'm really, really excited. So also shout out, I didn't mention, but Dampier's writer, Khaila Amazan, very excited to see what she does. She worked with him on Curses, and that's about it. So they did Curses together. She worked on Curses, but I don't know. However they met, it feels like the story that Amazon wants to tell is one that hopefully matters. So let's not waste any more time. I think I got it up for you, but if I didn't, get the trailer up again for you guys. I've got it in front of me. It's not a trailer. It's a short film. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at what we're getting with 7 minutes and 14 seconds from the Spider Within a Spider-Verse story. It's a very ominous tone under the Sony logo. I'm telling you, we're going to some dark mental places, maybe. Got the full collab, man. Everything you get in front of one of the main movies. I love that. Sony, Columbia. You got the little spider twitches. There they are, right on cue. Dude, this the music is Sony Pictures animation. God, so pretty. Even in a short, man. This has got a dark vibe, though.
These grades are unacceptable, Miles.
Focus, Miles. Focus. Miles, you need to apply yourself.
It's a lot on Miles' plate, man.
Okay. Yo, I'm home. Sorry I'm late.
They're watching a horror movie.
You're really not gonna turn around and check right?
What am I always telling you, Miles, huh? You gotta keep
Keep your head on the swivel.
Jefferson. Dude, how long was he waiting to do that?
Oh, and Miles, check this out. I rented 3 scary movies we can watch.
Love that. Jefferson, moving up in my list.
Way to Jersey to do that?
You got I call couch.
Nah, I would, but I'm just tired. I'll catch you next time.
Aw, man.
Are you okay, son?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Very teenage response.
See that.
Also, the popcorn kernels are huge.
Yeah, sorry, Dad.
He's really feeling it, man. Dude, triggering the spidey senses without anything there? That's a cool thought. Like, never thought like the anxiety of something could trip the spidey senses. Yes. Yeah, I love this guy. I love that Sony would let somebody do this and then make sure to put all the correct vibes so it feels like it's part of the Spider-Verse.
You're late. Again. Where have you been? No sense of responsibility.
That's tough too, right? Like, you out and your parents think you're messing around because you're doing things that they can't know about. Nailing it, man.
Bugging.
Whoa! Like, his anxiety taking physical manifestations, dude. Yo! I like goosebumps, man. That's such a creepy design. Oh, charge it up, Miles. Yo! And it's growing. Oh, I love this. Becoming a monster. Comic panels. Oh, it's gonna be a spider? Oh no! Oh no! You know how I don't like. Oh god! Oh god! Yeah, this is my worst nightmare. Dude. Oh, it's so many spiders! Oh! Oh, out of his mouth! Yeah. Oh, God. He could crawl to places that other people wouldn't try to run from spiders. Dude, man. Oh, he was on the ceiling.
Hey.
Hey, Dad.
Can I talk?
You got a minute?
Yes, thank God.
What's up, son?
Can we get some air?
Of course we can, yeah. Grab your jacket.
I just got so much on my mind, you know?
I hear that, yeah. So tell me what's going on.
It's just like homework, girls. Well, one girl.
One girl. Dude, that was dope, man. Like, damn, bro. Like, I want more. Like, I want, like, give me like a full 30-minute. Like, Jarelle Dampier did, like, such a cool work. And same with Khaila Amazan. Like, what a fantastic screenplay. It's such an effective short. Like, I'm still got goosebumps, man. Like, it's funny because I figured we'd go down the emotional route, which I was definitely, that walk with his dad was the emotional bit I thought we might see. Like, I would take 10 more minutes to see that conversation between Jefferson and Miles. But to go the horror route, that was a really interesting zig I didn't necessarily see coming. And it is one of those things, man, when your anxiety can build up like that, man, it can be a nightmare, you know? And it's, you know, just in the, I just make it out alive track that we got while the credits are running. That was really good. It's one of those, especially for me, like when I try to think about like when my anxiety spiraled out the multiple times it has over the course of the last few years. You know, it usually leads me down to a really emotional path. Now granted, you know, dealing with the loss of your sister, who's 3 years younger than you, it's gonna bring some emotional stuff. But the other end of it that I guess I don't necessarily think of all the time consciously is the nightmares and the bad dreams that come on the backside of that. So if you take a look at something like anxiety, you know, less so depression, but the anxiety elements, obviously the way I feel about what happened to my sister, it leads me more down, like I was way more depressed back then. But it would also kick me into, you know, like panic attacks. And, you know, the last like year and change, I'm getting close to 38, almost 40. And my body is doing things that my body didn't used to do. You know, lots of anxiety. But yeah, like the nightmares that come from both the depressive side and the anxiety-induced side, like it's something that can create that, you know, hyperventilating and you know, I mean, all of it. I'm all over the place. But the idea of taking a look at the anxiety for Spider-Man, and it's the doing all the things to save all the people, you know, like when we get these wonderful comic, like storyboard moments, you know, where it's like you're looking at a comic panel almost of, you know, Miles struggling at school and like what's he got there? That one says incomplete, you know, but he's also got to be Spider-Man and saving people. He's got his parents, getting on him about taking responsibility. It's like, yo, I got the responsibility of the entire city on my shoulders. And like a shot like that, you can physically see it in Miles, the weight that he is literally holding. And then all of it is because of the spiders. So, right, like you get to the kind of a panic attack mode, I'm just going to lay down, and then it like manifests itself. So to go the horror route, I didn't necessarily see that coming, but it plays so well. And then it's like the anxiety kicks into the fears that Miles has, right? The idea of being unable to escape yourself, right? Like his anxiety taking a physical manifestation of him is terrifying. But it's like when it boils down to it, it's not so much the him of it, but the spider of it, and spiders are terrifying. You know this from me personally. Just take a look at my Sting trailer reaction. But like the idea of the weight of being a hero, boiling it down to a nightmare that would involve a spider coming after him, and then this shot, when this thing freaking bursts on him, like, I'm coming at you, and it's just, oh, man, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just the anxiety physically manifesting itself in Dream in a way that really gets to Miles, and I love that you can, like the spider coming out, like, I love all of that, and I love that you can tie that into the fact that Jefferson wanted to watch a horror movie, right? And then, like, Miles ends up scaring Jefferson just by opening the door. So it's like one of these things where it's like your environment and the things that you're doing can always play into what's going on internally. And when your anxiety gets to a place where it physically can manifest in a dream, sometimes it's the things you don't think you're going to see that really scare you. But what is it that Miles needs to talk about? Miles doesn't need to talk about his fear of spiders, or that he's had a nightmare about a spider. He needs to talk about school and this girl and just like all these things that he's juggling. So it's one of those, I think it's very effective in showing you how anxiety can spiral into something that's fear-inducing. Even though the things that Miles needs to get off his chest and talk to his dad about aren't actually terrifying or scary, but the weight of all those things piling and pressing down on you and gives you a very claustrophobic, a very tense, uneasy feeling, something that you would feel in a horror movie. So I think it's a genius move from Amazon to start with the horror bit of like watching horror movies with your dad, and then have that be the thing that physically manifests itself to get to Miles to be like, hey, you gotta open up and you gotta talk. And it's done so effectively through visuals, which I absolutely love. And like I said, I would have taken, you give me a half-hour episode of television around this story, and I would love to see, Sony give Dampier and Amazan a chance to, hey, you know what, flesh this out more, give us even more. It's one of those, you see that happen with shorts sometimes. I don't expect that to happen, but I would certainly love to see, both of them be involved in Beyond the Spider-Verse in some way. That would be really cool. No matter what it is, like, it would be nice to see them on that credit sheet for Beyond the Spider-Verse. But yeah, I mean, I would totally take another half hour of this story in particular. Because you could really dive into some things. But like I said, I think it's a very effective way for someone who's gone through stuff, or it does have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders and they're carrying a lot, and how that anxiety and kind of just having to, open up and talk about things that are bothering you, like how stuffing all of it in can turn into something like that. It really, I think, gets the feeling across for anyone who hasn't gone down that road before, right? Like, that's one of those things where prior to 3 years ago, I get anxious sometimes, and I definitely had anxiety, but there wasn't anything that would have built to something like this, to those types of feelings of claustrophobia, not knowing what to do or where to turn or where to go, and to manifest it in that way. Like, I think that gets across one of the feelings inside a panic attack or going through something that you can't, it's hard to verbalize exactly what it is you're feeling, but it can be very much like a horror movie. And like I said, I love that, like, when Miles walks out and it's like, all right, what's on your mind, son? Well, school's been really tough, and there's, you got girls, well, really one girl, and all the things that are going on in the high schooler's mind. Like, yes, those are all things that are good to talk about. And then, obviously, Miles isn't going to tell his dad that he's Spider-Man, but, like, I would have liked to see how he tried to navigate that, where it's like, I do have these responsibilities and these things that mean, like, utilizing a girl in school and these things to kind of get across what is really holding him back and making him feel that way. I think would have been really interesting to hear that whole conversation. But from a 6-minute short, I thought that was unbelievably effective. And like I said, now you got two names that you got to keep your eyes on. This is what I love about short films and horror films in particular, because you get a lot of up-and-comers in that realm, because studios are willing to take chances on lower-budgeted horror-type movies, because those types of box offices and how you handle those types of movies and what you pour in and what you get back, it's almost formulaic in a way on the business side. So, like, but same thing with shorts. You want to find a name or somebody to keep an eye on. You get a short like this, and now immediately Jarelle Dampier and Khaila Amazan are two names that, like, when I go into animated features or things, I'm be looking for their names and looking to see what else they do. Because that was very effective, and it went a route I didn't think it was going to go. I thought we were going to deal more with, like, the emotional stuff than the anxiety and fear inducing. So I really, really dug that. I'm like, damn, man, I really wish we would have gotten like 20 minutes for a short film. You could have really dived in a lot more there, but what we get, I think, is very effective. So I'm going to shut up because I feel like I'm just talking in a circle right now. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm so impressed. And like I said, like, I love that Sony gets behind something like this and gives it the full backing, right? We're going to put the Sony logo. We're going to put the Columbia logo. We're going to make sure the animation looks right. Like, you could have done a Spider-Verse story with just normal 2D animation, or an animation style that doesn't necessarily look exactly like the Spider-Verse. But I dig that we get the animation style to be something like that, and where you're able to find those cool tricks or the things that really make you go as soon as you see it, oh, it's a Spider-Verse movie, other than just the character designs. I love that it's all poured in there, and yeah, I very, very much enjoyed that. I'm going to shut up. I'll flip it over to you. How much do you love the Spider-Verse movies, and how cool did you think this was as a short, both from a conceptual standpoint and what we're getting on the script story? Did it do the things you were expecting it to do? Did it zig when you thought it was going to zag? And then when you are presented with the story that we're given, how effective is it to you in showing what anxiety can do to a person? How important it is to talk and get things off your chest so that you don't start to feel that way. It's one of the things where if you look at the subtleties of what is going on in that nightmare, a lot of the claustrophobia elements of anxiety are very present. Miles pushing himself into corners, being stuck in small spaces. Did you think that was all effective? And if you've ever struggled with anxiety or depression or any of these types of things, does that represent to you what it feels like to kind of go through one of those situations, to have a nightmare that wakes you up going like, I need to talk to somebody? And if you've gone down the route of therapy, you guys know I'm very open about that and how positive it's been for me. So is it something that you have found to be a positive experience for you? And if you haven't, because I know therapy is not for everybody, and I had to find a kind of untraditional therapist. Like me and Monica, it's very much just conversation. We're not trying to pick apart my life and dive into things. Just kind of, I talk, and then based on what I talk about, she navigates it if she feels like she needs to. So sometimes therapy doesn't work for people. So if it didn't work for you, what other outlets do you have? How do you talk to people? How do you open up? What are you going through that maybe, you could use an ear? Anything you got, man, from, like I said, personal things to what we get with the Spider within the Spider-Verse story. I want to know it. And the only way for you to do it is put it down below in that comment section. Look forward to talking to you down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with C-Man anytime. We're talking movies, TV, trailer reactions. You want to be here for reactions to short films like this? Do you think I should do more short film viewings. If there are any short films that you would recommend me reacting to that you'd like to see, throw them in the comments, man. But if you want to be here for any of that, you just want to see my normal TV movie coverage, we got wonderful shorts out the theater, full reviews, sometimes spoiler talk. Like, you want to be here for any of that, you dig the vibe, you want to show a little love and support to the old C-Man because you know he can use it. It's super easy to join C-Maniac Nation. Just jump over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts, and until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace!
Hey, what's up, C-Maniac Nation? Winter Ken here, where we grow out our roots and our beard, letting you know that you can see some new C-Man videos right up here and right down here. And if you want all those videos and show that man a little love and support, come join C-Maniac Nation right over there, and the C-Man will catch you on the next one.